Really not surprised the title of this video has showed up the way the cards are really bringing this through with the shadow energy of Mercury. Welcome back. We're here to cover the Karmic Third Party. Yes, we cover these weekly, and we do release these to the members ahead of schedule if you do want to get these. Now, what I'm seeing from the Karmic this week is quite interesting, especially because of the transits. Yes, I do cover the astrology, and this can interlink into your twin flame path to really help you navigate through your ascension process. Now, what I'm seeing coming through for these individuals, and I do believe, and I've always said this, it's within the directs, within astrology, we can see some shakeups, particularly with Mercury. Now, we're going to quickly look at the dates. I'm going to find it, current planets, because what I'm seeing here is really almost like it's something they've been dealing with. They've been looking at it. They've been reviewing, but it feels as though there is this notion by about the 28th. Yep, see, so it goes direct in the 28th and it's moving into the house of Leo. Is that energy is really where the individual is feeling, hey, I want to be the star of it. I've critically looked at this. The only thing I'm noticing, which is a bit of a flaw in their plan, is the past position. Now, the crowning energy is it's the last minute decision. Okay, so it does feel quite spontaneous, this subject. It has kept them up at night. We're seeing the owl totem above the crown chakra. We're seeing the signs and synchronicities they're getting from the feathers. And this is a number 5. This card breaks down to a 5, and 5s can be quite difficult. It's almost where we ask our guides to, show us a sign. We're really feeling completely out of sync of a circumstance, and it's not resonating with us, but we're denying that as a physical truth. So when we get the 5s, we are asking, but we're giving kind of a contradiction to universe. So sometimes we can actually own our power and we can actually proceed forward, and some tower moments can happen. And at the time, we're trying to trust that process, but it feels quite horrendous, like a tower moment. Other times it can be this happens to us, but it is for us inevitably. Now, as I was mentioning, past position, we'll get a close-up view. This card here is really showing me that this person hasn't fully thought it through. So either A, this is happening to them, or B, they're throwing caution to the wind and they're within their ego and they're like, right, this doesn't serve me. Now, they could be at the heart of it feeling very glad they just made a decision, okay? It could be a potent decision. It could be that they're accepting something, but something smells off in this, okay? Something is off with this. So it could be shady behavior. It could be that they've hidden this. But again, managing to be glad, the card says, create your own happiness regardless of conditions. This could be a time of, we could say being self-centered. And there's nothing wrong with that if we have been putting ourselves second. And, these transits really, in our shadow energy, have potentials of, really looking at things, being very critical. On the higher octave, it can be that we're having to look at the devil in the detail, and we're having to really care about our health and how we see things and what we perceive and how we're receiving things. However, I do feel this person has spontaneously made a decision. As we proceed forward, I do feel there is a second guessing here. It's like, oh crap, what have I just done? This person, unbeknownst to them, is going to have to learn within their aura, who they actually are, very separate to a connection. And this is very daunting. It's okay, and, some codependence can come up, especially when we are afraid to sit in that vibration of a separation, of leaving a circumstance. Now, it could be a person, place, or thing. This also could be a work situation. This could be a physical relationship, but there is a shake-up happening in these individual lives. And for some, it is the actual twin flame partnership they're having. So a karmic dynamic with a twin flame. Yeah, their bearings are it's difficult with their bearings moving forward. They are second guessing this, but it's almost like they're being exposed. This exposure, or for some reason, I feel it's almost like they can't go back. There's no going back. And they're trying to have faith in themselves. It's almost like this complete knowing, I can't go back now. It's too late, because whatever has been done, it's just too late and they simply can't go back. So they're really scrounging here. And it's funny because we have these hands opened. There's butterflies, there's transformations. Again, I'm signifying 5 here. Even though this is an 8, this is very Pluto in nature. It's like, oh my gosh, am I going to be okay? Gosh, I've let go of this. What do I have left? So it can feel like the glass half full. This person does have what it takes, but they're having to find that. They're having no choice but to do such. So, it's almost like they're turning in towards themselves and go, okay, this is it. This is where you find yourself. What do we do from here? And again, I'm just feeling they really didn't think this through. And now the consequences are here to deal with. And the consequences can be, quite rebellious, especially with the transits by the end of this month. Okay, this could be an individual that was quite codependent. This could be where they especially are within the Sun energy, within the Leo energy. They could be feeling as though they're waiting for a solution to come. They could have been in a codependent partnership where they were cared for in some shape or form, or things naturally pivoted towards them. This does feel like turning of the tides. How am I feeling to do with this? Smoke. I'm hearing the term smoke and mirrors. For some, they could, but they're thinking about the bigger picture. Now, this could be for those individuals that may be getting severance, or, they're actually thinking something's going to last a lot longer. Something's a bit further away than they anticipate. Although they know it is going to be okay, this could be a divorce and money coming from it. But whatever it is, they're resting on their laurels at this point in time. It's almost like they got grounded. They're like, oh, I'll be okay. It's going to be okay. And it's funny because I'm hearing smoke and mirrors. I'm hearing blowing caution to the wind, especially, this person's sipping from a cup. And it's gold. We can see the sun in the background. We can see this wind blowing out of it. And it's their intuition and perception of a circumstance is very different to what it is. It's an end goal. It's not in the here and now, if you know what I mean. Yeah, they're really not thinking about, they're almost thinking that their position is secured. They're thinking as though it's going to be okay. Now, we are going to go back and actually clarify these to see if there's deeper things that is going to really play out in these individual lives and how it inadvertently, it could impact other people. I do think this person's having a moment of regret. They're having fleeting moments of feeling super confident. It's very PTSD, if you know what I mean. It's almost like 1 minute feeling super egoic and very sure of themselves. The next minute, like, oh crap, what have I done? They keep going into their head and saying, well, I've given advice to friends. I need to practice what I preach. I need to accept that this is where I find myself. But they're not being cautious. This is an individual that hasn't really mapped it. And we had the entirety of August to do such. And a lot of times, we can actually have the warnings, and we say everything comes in threes. So, with this outcome, it's what concerns me for this individual. However, could it and would it affect the twin flame path? We will check into that. Especially with this crowning energy of this person. It's almost like, look, I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. Okay, I feel I've made the right choice. It's kept me up at night. I'm going to fly. I'm going to throw caution to the wind, not really thinking about the consequences. They've thrown this to the past and they're proceeding forward. I just don't think they've thought all these plans through. I do feel there's a bit of fight and flight. There could have been some conflict that they were having within the karmic relationship. And it feels as though, if this wasn't totally, at a point, it might have been a very, very romantic connection. It could have been something that held love. How it's feeling right now is that, because they're wanting to get out of Dodge, because they're feeling this doesn't tick the boxes for them, they're trying to salvage what they can. And that could be from a monetary front, it could be from a health front, whatever it is they're trying to salvage. It does feel they're going into war here. However, I do feel that they haven't really thought this through, and there can be some flaws in their system. Now, as I mentioned, we had the entirety of August to consider these factors in our lives. That was to do with, where is our wellness at? Where is our structure and foundations? Are we being too critical? Do we need to listen and talk and communicate and really understand what this is saying, not just how we're feeling? Understanding ourselves, what are the trigger points that are coming up? Have we looked at our map and our foundation moving forward? Has there been codependence or difficulties really going back and forward? We're going to go into clarifying and see what further we can see that is going on with this individual. I feel a very heavy energy inside their abdomen. It does feel very conflicting. Okay, why have they come to this space with the crowning energy that they have made this very decision? Oh, wow, okay. This could be because of another person and how they are showing. This other person does feel frustrated. I also feel we have the thought card in reverse, and what this card's showing is almost like they're defending it, but have they? And I feel this more relates to the past position. I do feel they threw caution to the wind. I do feel this is something that they were quite, it's almost like this serves me. I'm going to defend this to the end, and then bang, it's like they've let something go. Almost have a price. And it feels, was the buck worth the grind? And I do feel that was a huge subject for the collective, really feeling quite negative, especially with Saturn and Pisces squaring Jupiter and Gemini. From the spiritual attribute of things, it's like, am I having success? I'm scattering my mind. I have a lot of wants and desires. I want some spiritual freedom. And so, yes, accidentally, so we can actually give up on things that are actually worth defending, that are actually worth putting our energy into, but we really don't know how to manage such. So I feel this person was out of their depth. I feel this person was really looking at life and feeling quite overwhelmed and threw caution to the wind. Yeah, it's almost that acceptance, this is potentially going to affect their wealth. Their values directly have changed. They haven't maybe evaluated that of what they had in the past, but it does feel as though their value systems have really changed. Okay, for some, they may have met somebody else. For some, they also feel as though the attention wasn't given to them. There could have been a work situation that was a bugbear. They're also feeling they have a lot of work to do. They're just saying it was a lot of work. They also feel as though it's almost like they're trying to convince themselves the other person didn't do what they needed to do. So therefore, I need to accept the decision that I made. It was a stinky situation. So they're trying to convince themselves. This can be an individual that is trying to look for accommodation, that does have a family dynamic going on. They do feel that they have a lot on their plate. They could be looking at, okay, is the home going to be sold? Am I going to have somewhere to live? Where am I going to be? How do I feel within my own skin? That they do feel they've had a lot on their plate. They do have an opportunity to surprise themselves here. This could be for negative or positive. But where it does come to this belief system, like I was really picking up, it's almost like I just don't think they've thought this through. I think they've thrown caution to the window. I think they have some ideals of what they think is a potential, and it's really going to be a nest egg. It's going to save them. They're going to be fine. Yeah, but they haven't taken stock, and I feel, oh God, this is going to get so messy. I feel some information is coming through in the next 2 weeks for them that is going to show them a flaw in the plan. I do feel they need to be very cautious. I don't think they're going to be. I think this is going to be a huge surprise for them. Oh, well, not only are they bringing themselves undone, yeah, there's okay. What these cards are showing is once they get this information, I feel they're wanting to return, but there's no going back. Look, this was something that I was really feeling from the crowning energy. This person hasn't thought it through. They've pushed, they've thought about these things in their mind. You know, they were very determined how things were going to go. They're having second guesses. They threw caution to the wind. As we go forward, you know, this beware card, it's like this is a lesson that hasn't been learned, and this is a hard lesson to learn. That, you know, especially within the higher heart chakra, I'm noticing a lot of green. I don't feel this individual trusts them anymore. There's no going back. This is a done deal. This does feel as though the fight is not over, and I do feel through this they're going to have a lot of surprises. We will check in with this next week. Tell me how this reading lands, and if you have any info on the inside of what is going down with the karmic third party.